What's up, guys? Hello. I'm just going to turn off my Wi-Fi off my phone here. There you go. All righty. What's going on, guys? Happy Wednesday. Well, thank you very much. What is happening? Today, we are going to talk about why the scale's not going down, even though you're in a calorie deficit, with the brackets, because that's like really important, isn't it? As you're dropping in here, you know the score. Say hello. Pop your name in so we can see who it is, so we can say hi, and also that you can hear us, because that would be fantastic. Until then, we'll stop talking, just in case no one can hear us.
Just in case.
I don't know, voice and voice. Hey, Anna. I guess Anna can hear us. Hey, Jodie. There we go. If people are here. Bushra. There's the team, the gang, look. Wow. Alrighty. Jane. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Clarification. Rosalind, Kyra, Sam.
So delayed all the time.
I don't know. Hey, Jan. Hello, everyone. Rachel, Holly. Hello. 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 Welcome. Welcome. Hi, everybody. Lovely to see you here in the middle of this week. And it is fantastic to be back. I feel back at home, being able to talk. Actually, I can't hear you. You lying. Funny. You funny person, whoever that is. So today we're going to talk about why the scale might not be going down or isn't going down, even though you're in a calorie deficit. Because people always say, well, if you're in a calorie deficit, you would lose weight, right? And I hate these people, these coaches that are like, well, not just coaches, actually. I hate the general population that say this, but I hate coaches even more. They say, well, if you're in a calorie deficit, you would lose it. The scale would be good. No. Okay, that is wrong. It is not correct. And it's a damaging statement for people because they're like, oh, well, it's going up or it's not going down. That means I'm doing something wrong. And then they restrict even more. They exercise more. They throw off their hormones more. They stress out more. Then it leads to a binge, right? So this is the cycle that you find yourself in. Let me know in the comments if you've ever been really frustrated or got frustrated or thought you were doing something wrong because the scale wasn't going down.
I think it's just when people make it like black and white.
Yeah.
And the hardest thing about nutrition is it's not black and white.
Well, there's not just nutrition.
That's what we're talking about, isn't it?
Me, I need to hear this today. I know you know. I don't know.
Sounds like a cryptic message.
It does, doesn't it? I feel like I should use my telepathic skills. Who is this? Someone did say this in our group today. It was Beth. Absolutely, I have been disappointed. Yes, Defo. This was me a few months ago. Yeah, Jan, yeah. So, there are various reasons. Oh, that was Anna. Okay.
Anna Banana.
Anna Banana? She's doing bloody awesome, isn't she? Disappointed. I'm not angry at you, Anna. I'm just disappointed. I've just fixed my scales to read where I want. We used to have scales, and they were in the bathroom, and if we leant back, you'd lose 2 pounds. So we'd always go on like this. Totally, but I've learned to stick to things for weeks on end, and then eventually something budges. Hey, Vicky. Oh, Vicky, I haven't seen you for a while. Yes, exactly. So sometimes people give up just too soon, and that's like a different life, but I just want to touch on that. It's like sometimes you're like, your body's digging around for body fat, or it's trying to get some homeostasis when your body is like in good rhythm, and that takes a while. And sometimes it would just be the next day that you would drop. Like our clients, we've got like hundreds of clients' graphs of their weight, daily weight, and sometimes they go like this, bump, 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 bump. But that is rare. That's like 20%, maybe, if that. Most people go like this, like that. And then you've got some people that do this, dun, 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 don't they? They just like steps. That's what their graph looks like. But that's what's the word? I digress. Okay, let's get back to it. Why are some of the reasons that someone might be in a calorie deficit but their scale might be going up the next day or just not budging. But maybe we'll talk about going up because that's more frustrating, I think, than it staying the same, right?
It is. I'd say the most obvious and easy ones is learning how and why like the body fluctuates.
Yeah.
I think like
what would you reckon first one people should know
about? I guess we can put them all into one, like food and water, combine it. So
okay.
We've got like fiber, sodium, and like carbohydrates. All of them will do like different things, but they'll all increase your weight or lower your weight, or they'll keep your weight the same depending on what actual food you've eaten. So you could eat in two different calorie deficits. One person could have really low fiber and really low net weight food. Like we can feed people like under say 800 grams of food for the day, but then there's like Janet that's eaten like over 1.5 pounds worth of food like within the food volume. So they're both eating the same amount of calories, but their weight will just be completely different.
That's very complicated. Dumb it down for me, because I couldn't even follow that one.
Like how much your food actually weighs is one thing that will change the scale weight.
Okay, yeah. So the actual weight of the food. If you're eating heavy food, then that's going to make you heavier.
If you're having like 200 grams, like 300 grams of like steak, and then you've got like 100 grams of chicken, and then you've got like 200 grams of Greek yogurt, compared to someone that's just had like 100 grams in each meal, for example, that person will weigh less, even though there could be in the exact same deficit as the next person.
Okay.
So just like the weight of your food even has a thing like that.
Yeah. So I think one of the most important ones, like you touched on three things there. You touched on carbs, fiber, and water. So I want to just come back because people will be like, well, I got to cut carbs then. We're not saying that at all. So a carbohydrate, like when you have like 1 gram of carbs, it goes into your body, it will hold on to 3 blobs of water. So you've got 1 blob of carb, 1, 2, 3 blobs of water, which means that it's going to be heavier, right? Because now we've got a little bit more water on us. This is not a bad thing, but it will make the scale go up because now it's water. If you stood on the scale now, guys, if any of you are close to your scales, go on them, okay, check your weight, step off them, grab a bottle of water, step back on them, and you will be heavier. This does not mean that you have gained fat. Okay, and I think we will talk about fat versus weight as well. But this is the first thing. Water, whether you're drinking it or whether it's being held because of carbs, sodium, which is salt, does the same thing as well. It like suck up the water, and that's going to make you a bit heavier, right? So they are 3 of the, fiber actually. So, but the 2 that we're talking about so far are water kind of based. They are not to be avoided. In fact, if you drink less and you're dehydrated, you actually hold on to water more, and you'll be even heavier then. So you need enough water to flush it out. Carbs are very important. We don't need them. They are advantageous for you to live and they're enjoyable. So why would you cut them out? But talking of carbs, fruit and veg are carbs, and they also contain fiber. Now, fiber is basically what is pulled together to get literally the shit out of you, like literally poop, okay? So if you've got a lot of fiber in your gut, that means that it's going to be like bulk. So you call it, isn't it, bulk? Yeah, you call it bulk.
Stool.
Yeah, stool. So the bulk of the stool is going to be inside of you, so you're going to be a bit heavier. If any of you buy your scales now and need a poo, step on your scales, weigh, go and have your poo, come back and weigh again. You've lost like 2 pounds or whatever, right? That well, it's possible, but it doesn't mean that you're any closer to your goal, okay? And likewise, if you're constipated and haven't been to the toilet since like yesterday or wherever, we step on the scale, that is still going to be inside of you, so it's going to be heavier, right? So we've got to be really careful about judging ourselves based on scale. So far we've got carbs, sodium, bracket, water, fiber. I think eating late is a big one as well. Like what time? Guys, what time do you have your last meal of the day? Put it in the comments for us. Because like we are still snacking now. I've literally got some ham and a cheese triangle by here. Like I'm not lying. I don't lie about these things. I've got my cheese triangle and some ham. And it's 9:15. So if I was to eat a steak now, that's still going to be in my gut tomorrow. It's probably a little bit late for us to be eating, but it's just a small snack, so it's okay. 7-ish, 8:30 p.m., 8. Okay, so we're looking like 7 or 8. 7 at the latest, but bedtime is later. I don't really like to eat after 6:30. 8, 8. Yeah, so 7 and sometimes 8. But I'm then heavy the next day. Yeah, bushra. That's exactly right. So if you eat later, it's closer to your bedtime, so you're not moving. The digestion is slowing down. And of course, when we go to sleep, our digestive system tries to shut down as well. If it's still digesting, it's not going to shut down fully. But that is going to mean that the next day, that food from dinner last night is still in your gut. And if you ate fiber last night and you ate carbs last night and you had sodium in your diet last night and you ate at 9 o'clock or 9:30.
If you had like a microwave meal because you got home really late.
Yeah, microwave meal, a takeaway, anything like that. That is definitely going to be in your gut. It's going to be holding a ton of water. It's going to make you heavy the next day. Not to mention, if you are eating late, your sleep will be thrown off. And then it is very likely that you'll be heavier the next day as well. So what about sleep? How does sleep affect weight?
Pretty much what you just said. Like the digestion system isn't fully done, the processes aren't fully done, so you're going to be like holding more water. You probably won't like want to urinate as much when you wake up, but when you have a long, decent sleep, you'll have a longer and you'll have generally like a bigger pee because all the processes have been done. But yeah, sleep's one of the biggest factors that will fluctuate weight. But I guess the biggest thing to say is all the people that are eating late, whether it's through like choice or just through like lifestyle, it doesn't mean like it's any better. Sometimes people think they're cheating the system by stop eating at like 5. But it's no different. Like you could have person A stopped eating at 5, eating exactly the same calories as like Brescia that stops eating at like 2 minutes till she goes to bed. But over time, they'd accumulate the same sort of fat loss. Depending on the sleep's going to be different. But if we just did it pure calories and fat loss,
yeah.
But Bustra's weight would look heavier for like a lot longer.
Yeah, especially if she ate early one night, she might be lighter the next morning. But if she ate the same amount of calories, but later on in the day and closer to bed, she'd be heavier the next day, even if everything else is literally exactly the same, talking and walking and all those kinds of things.
If you find people that eat at certain times and they're pretty like identical every day, which has its pros and its cons, it's usually ideal, pretty good. Their weight will be much more stable. But you have people like that always eat at weird, erratic times.
Yeah.
Their weight graph will just be weird and erratic times.
Yeah, yeah. So other things that can hold your weight. Stress, that's another thing that will make you hold weight. Now stress, well actually let's talk about bloating actually. So gut irritation. Gut irritation causes inflammation. So if you've got any sort of intolerance or something that your body just doesn't like very much, this can mean, well, it'll cause inflammation in your gut. Okay, so if you ever have hurt yourself and you've got like an inflammation in like an area, right, whether it's like your tooth or your face, like if you had like a black eye and it's all like inflamed, whatever. I suppose you've had a few of those shiners. That is like, it's swollen, right? So it's like big. So if you imagine your gut, when you've eaten something it doesn't really agree with, it's inflamed, that's going to cause extra weight as well, okay? Lots more water being held. Bloating is water outside of the muscle. So that's going to make you heavier as well. Excuse me. So any inflammation is going to make you gain weight. But again, we've got to just look at that. And this is why we get our clients to weigh every day, actually, because if we see a massive spike the next day, we'll be like, okay, Busha, what did you do yesterday? What did you eat yesterday or the day before that's causing this weight spike? Busha might say, I ate lactose. I ate some milk last night. She's lactose intolerant. She's not, but maybe she is. Well, that's why then there's a massive spike. So let's reduce or restrict that out of our diet and let's see what happens. Because even though we like milk, just as an example, if the body's reacting badly, we probably should be avoiding it. Okay, the scales are a reflection of what's going on inside of the body. Yeah, so that's really, she's not, yeah, Bushra's not. You're not Bushra, but you might be, who knows? Yeah, it could be like lactose, gluten, it could be like fish, it could be shellfish, it could be whatever, peanuts, processed foods. So processed foods is a big one. That causes inflammation in the gut, it's proven, okay? So things that have got lots of different ingredients in, things that you couldn't prepare at home, things that are, things that the ingredients you can't spell or even pronounce, that is probably processed, highly processed, and that causes inflammation in the gut. But the gut and the brain are connected, or we're connected when we're first, like, we're little thing, fetus, prior to the fetus, when we first got conceived. And so they separate, but there is a gut brain connection. And when your gut gets inflamed, it actually inflames your brain as well, right? So this is why people get brain fog, memory loss. They get a bit like just easily distracted, can't concentrate. All of these things can happen from the gut inflammation. But all of those things will also make you wake up the next day. What else can? I think we could do like one or two more maybe.
I think like a typical thing is like the menstrual cycle, isn't it?
Mm.
And again, it's even not that straightforward with that. Like sometimes most likely on like week 4 when you're building up to your period, that's when we'll see the most water retention and the increase in scale. So we just say if this is the trend every month, then obviously just ignore it. It's even like the data has proven that you're not gaining fat every 4th week of your month, of your cycle. But then sometimes we've got some clients that are completely fine on week 4 and they know like round about mid-cycle, they just like day 15, they'll fluctuate in weight, but it should be like a monthly trend.
Yeah. And this is why it's really difficult, especially for women, to look at their weight day to day to day to day to day versus week to week to week to week to week. Really, as women, we should be looking at it month versus month versus month. But that takes a lot of commitment and a lot of mental resilience to be comparing month to month to month, right? Because we'd have to wait 2 months before we've got any comparable data. Well, that was very scientific, wasn't it? Until we've got enough information to compare the 2 months, right? So we'd look at day 14 on month 1 versus day 14 on month 2. Okay, now we've got 2 pieces of data we can compare. Did we go up? Did we go down? Yes, no, let's make changes. So for women, normally it's easier to do week to week to week as averages because it's easy to kind of see. And then we take a step back and we look at week 1 versus week 1 versus week 1 versus week 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, and 4, 4, 4, 4. And like Cam said, typically people find trends usually on the run up to your cycle. There's inflammation, there is extra blood in your body, and that's getting ready to be flushed out. Normally you are more peckish, you eat more food, so you're going to be eating more, so it's going to be more food in your system, in your body. And typically, I don't know, I said this on Monday, I don't know anyone that really craves like carrots, but someone did say celery. I think it might have been Jack.
It's not a bad thing.
Crave celery. I can't remember who it was actually, maybe it wasn't it. But most people crave donuts, processed, brownies, processed, chips, processed, chocolate, processed. Like it's very rare that people crave a bit of vegetable. Some sprouts. Oh, I'd love sprout. My periods do. I'd love a sprout. So, we do have now if we think about everything that we've spoken about so far, probably not drinking as much because you're probably drinking more tea and hot chocolate and coffee because you're tired, you're lethargic, you just want that like warm hug. Then you've eaten more processed foods, you're eating more food because you're actually hungry, so there's more food in your gut, there's more inflammation, there's already the blood. So there's all of these things come together and that is going to influence your scale. Now, you could still be in a deficit even if you're eating more during that week. I'm going to talk about that in our 7-day challenge. We're going to touch on most of these, I think, a little bit more in depth. This is just like one kind of section in the 7-day challenge that starts on Monday. But there are some of the reasons why the scale might be going up. There's one more actually I want to touch on because we've got a couple of minutes, is training. How does training affect your weight? Weightlifting.
Inflammation.
Inflammation.
Water into the muscle.
Yeah. So here, maybe you guys have the right ideas, but maybe, I'm not sure, maybe we'll ask you, who here has heard of like the pump? Grace is like, yes, me. I don't think Grace is on, she's with us this, I think. Anybody? Bushra. Jake Bush has heard of a pump? Anybody in here? Yes or no? Have you heard of having a pump? Not a breast pump. Not a naughty kind of pump, like just a body pump. Not that kind of, not the class body pump either. By the lack of comments, I'm going to guess no. Everyone's too embarrassed. Oh, there you go. Finally, someone. I have it. Okay. So, you always say get your pump on.
You always say get your pump on, Faye, but I never know what you mean. I don't know if you're talking to the boys or the girls.
No, mate, I haven't. Yes, no. Okay, so I'll tell you what the pump is, right? So you know when you look in the mirror and your like muscles are like, you're looking good, you're like, I'm fucking ripped. You got the good lighting, down lighting at the gym, and your muscles like, not swollen, but they're like, well, swole. It's basically when the muscles look bigger and full. The muscles look full, which is what we want, right?
It's like if you do like a bicep curl.
Yeah.
You grab your tin of cans or a weight, it's going to start sending all the blood to that muscle. So then that starts to like inflate, and it's just going to look bigger, feel bigger, and that people call that the pump.
Well, the pump is water inside of the muscle. Yeah. It's blood. Blood rushes to it, but it fills the muscle bellies up with water as well. So that's why you look fuller. But like Cam said, there's inflammation. So when you lift weights, if you're doing it properly, you will break down the muscle, okay? With tear, you'll have like micro tears in the muscle belly. And so that's when you need rest and you need your protein to sew it back up, bigger than last time. I forgot, but now I know. Cool. So if your muscles are torn, then there's going to be inflammation because the body's like, oh my God, something's happened. We need to go and heal it. So water goes towards that. All the protein runs towards that. So all the chemicals come up and they're like, hey, let's come fix this thing. But there's also inflammation. So sometimes if you train the night before, you might gain weight the next morning, even though you're in a calorie deficit, because of the inflammation. Now, I will say this doesn't happen. Does this happen with cardio? Depends on the type of cardio, I guess. Yeah.
Low intensity, unlikely.
Yeah.
Unless it's like an activity you've never done.
Yeah. I mean,
you could do low intensity running and you'd be quite sore because you've never run before.
But you'd also probably sweat more, so you'd probably be lighter.
Yeah. So
there's also different nuances there. And also you might be lighter the next day if you have a bath, if you go in the sauna, if you don't eat as much. So if you do all the like opposite things of what we're talking about, don't eat as much, make sure you have a poo and all these kind of things, then you're going to be lighter the next day. So the scale is very easy to manipulate, but that doesn't mean we are successful or unsuccessful dependent. It just means you're sneaky. If you're like, I just want to have carbs after 5 o'clock, so my scale goes down the next day. That'll only happen once, and then like that'll be it. You'll be screwed after that. So they are just a few of the many, many, many examples that we could give on why the scale isn't going down, even though you're in a calorie deficit. So please, look out for other signs that you're being successful, not just on the scale.
Stay patient.
Stay patient. Yeah, don't give up just because you're not seeing results. I will say though, the scale is important. Like if you're going in the right direction, it will.
Trends are, yeah. I think an easy thing to remember is just because you could potentially be in the perfect calorie deficit doesn't mean you automatically lose weight the next day.
Yeah.
Like if it was that quick, everyone would lose it super quick. Like weight loss and calorie deficits are an accumulation, so they just take time.
Especially for a woman. Yeah. There you go. So that's it, guys. I've got our application thing here. Let's see. We've got 59 applications so far for the challenge that's on Monday. So there's going to be wait lists now opening. If you want to apply, definitely get in there ASAP. The sooner you are, the higher you'll get in the wait list, and then we will start contacting people. We're going through it on Friday, aren't we, to start going through who's been successful and whatnot. Fabulous. Hope you got value, guys. If you're on the replay, hello. And we are about to jump into our client call because that's the time it is on a Wednesday. So if you've got any questions, let us know. Hope you got some value out of this, and we'll catch up soon. Bye.